This video is a short tutorial on how to get started with the gradio. Gradio is a Python library that is built as the fastest way to demo your machine learning model with a friendly web user interface. In reality, it's a great way to deploy any Python function. It comes with a bunch of tooling that makes your life much easier, and you can get started really quickly and put together applications with a lot of the web complexities that are handled for you. So this is going to be the first in a series of videos I'll make, and what we will be building is audio transcription application. At first, we'll start something really simple with gradio interface and progressively build up the complexity into a web app that transcribes an audio meeting in real time with multiple speakers, with the speaker duration as well, where each speaker is listed as someone different. So we'll progressively build this up, but this first video is the simple introduction to what gradio actually does. So let's get started. So all you have to do to get started with the gradio is basically to pip install gradio. And in my machine, of course, I already have it, but this will enable you to do what we're doing. So all you have to do is import gradio as gr. So basically, you can think of gradio as a simple way to deploy a Python function. And the function we want to deploy is, let's say, this function. The function will take an input, and let's say it will do something to that input. So input is equal to input plus, and then it'll return an output. And all you have to do is, again, there are different ways to build a gradio app. The most user-friendly one is the gradio interface, where the entire interface is built for you, and you just do gradio.interface, and this requires a function, which is this function in our case, inputs. And the inputs here, you simply basically say what type of input the function expects. In this case, it'll be text, and outputs, which will also be text. And that's pretty much it. So all you have to do is demo.launch, and there you have it. And now you can simply say cd gradio and point to our application, and it'll basically put it up. And behind the scenes, what gradio will be doing is creating a, wait, there seems to be an error. No such file as, yeah, sorry. Okay. So behind the scenes, what gradio will be doing is creating an interface for you, creating the web server, linking the interface with the web server using WebSockets, and all of this is really managed behind the scenes for you, so you really just have to focus on the code and the business logic. And right now we're up and running on localhost, so we can just copy paste this into our browser, and this is it, the input, the output, and the function between them. So the input could be a name, and you submit, and the output is processed as expected. Now, obviously, a normal application would be more complex than this, and oftentimes there are machine learning elements or some sort of inference being done, but just to show you how fast it is to get started, this is absolutely amazing. And another thing gradio can do is you can actually put share is equal to true, save, and when you launch the app with gradio, it actually monitors for changes within the app itself. Now, as for the share is equal to true, I think we might have to reboot the server, so we're just going to interrupt here. And once the server is interrupted, we'll relaunch it, and what it's going to do is actually create a public link for you. So anyone on the World Wide Web is able to access your application, the backend will be running on your local machine, and they can interact with your local machine through this Gradio server. So small problem here. You can just and there you have it. You have a running public URL that you can put into the web bar. And the same application that we ran on localhost is now actually running on the World Wide Web. And what's super interesting is that this is actually running inference on the back end on your local machine. So you're not really renting any server out there. This is absolutely great when you want to test things small scale, test out small applications without having to pay any server fees. And all the complexities of managing a web server and managing WebSocket connections are handled by Gradio on the back end. And that's the short and dirty introduction to Gradio. In the next video, we'll actually be taking it a step further and looking at audio transcription through interface. And after that, we'll start building more complex interfaces with Gradio blocks and eventually building a real-time streaming transcription.